Chosen one. They took your picture to 12 different shamans, and all of them said this soul is protected by something ancient. There are people who just received the most terrifying confirmation of their lives. They spent months planning this operation, thousands of dollars, 12 shamans across 12 different continents, all because they needed to understand why you keep surviving things that should have destroyed you completely. You're about to learn why desperate people traveled the globe with your photograph, why they needed answers about the invisible force that stands guard over your life, why every curse they tried bounced back like stones thrown at a mountain. The first shaman was in Haiti, a practitioner who'd been reading souls for decades. They had seen everything the spirit world had to offer, spoken with entities that would terrify most people into madness, negotiated with forces that exist between dimensions. They lit their candles with the confidence of 6 decades of practice, arranged their tools with surgical precision, placed your photograph in the center of their altar, like they'd done thousands of times before. The moment they began the reading, every candle flame went out. Not from wind, from presence. Something massive had entered their sacred space, something that made the air itself feel heavy with ancient power. They tried to relight the candles. They wouldn't stay lit. The temperature dropped so fast they could see their breath forming clouds in the tropical heat. And then they heard it. Not words, not voices, but knowing. Pure information downloaded directly into their consciousness. Your guardian doesn't follow our rules because it existed before our rules were written. They ended the session immediately, pushed the money back across the table, told their client they couldn't help them understand what protects you, because what protects you operates beyond human comprehension. Some things are too vast to map, too ancient to catalog, too powerful to challenge, but they didn't stop there. The client had anticipated failure. They had 11 more shamans on standby, each more powerful than the last, each using different traditions, different approaches, different ways of piercing the veil between worlds. The second shaman was in the frozen wilderness of Siberia. They tried a different approach. Instead of reading your energy directly, they attempted to trace your bloodline through shamanic journey, map out your spiritual ancestry, find the exact moment when this protection began. Every time they approached your spiritual signature, they hit something like a wall, not exactly a wall, more like standing at the edge of an ocean that goes down forever. The shaman came out of the trance sweating despite the sub-zero temperature, shaking, speaking words that roughly translated to "this one belongs to the first darkness." The third attempt was deep in the Amazon rainforest. A master of plant medicine thought sacred plants might reveal what other methods couldn't. The moment your image appeared in the ayahuasca ceremony, every participant saw the same vision, a massive eye-opening in primordial darkness, older than time itself, and it was watching them with cosmic amusement. Half the ceremony participants fled, some vomiting from pure terror, others unable to speak for days. But the message was becoming clear. You weren't just protected by something ancient. You were connected to something that predates human understanding of protection itself. What they discovered in those first 3 readings changed the entire nature of their investigation. They weren't dealing with a human who had powerful spiritual protection. They were dealing with something else entirely, something wearing human form. The fourth shaman was in New Orleans, a practitioner who supposedly never met a spirit that couldn't be bargained with. They thought maybe they could negotiate with your guardian, offer it rum, gold, sacred objects, even other souls in exchange for information. Their altar caught fire, blue flames that burned cold to the touch. When the smoke cleared, there was a message burned into their wooden table. "This one is already bought and paid for." The practitioner understood immediately. Your guardian wasn't interested in deals because it already had everything it wanted, you, and whatever agreement was made for your protection, it was signed in cosmic ink before you were even born. By the 5th reading in Mongolia, the pattern was becoming undeniable. You and your guardian aren't separate entities. You're something ancient temporarily wearing human form. The connection isn't from this lifetime. It's woven into the fabric of your existence at a level that predates incarnation itself. That's when they realized what they were really dealing with. You're not surviving despite the pain life throws at you. You're evolving because of it. Every betrayal, every attack, every moment someone tried to break you was actually removing your limiters, like safety locks being taken off one by one. The 6th through 8th readings in Egypt, Ireland, and Japan revealed something that changed everything. Your protector doesn't exist in any pantheon, any mythology, any spiritual taxonomy that humans have created. It's older than the stories we tell, from before we had words to name our fears or concepts to explain our protection. But here's what really terrified them. Your guardian doesn't act like other protective spirits. It doesn't warn, doesn't threaten, doesn't negotiate. It just watches with infinite patience and responds with cosmic precision. When someone crosses a line, they don't get sick or cursed, they just change. Their luck turns, their minds fray. They start seeing things that hunt in dimensions most people pretend don't exist. If you felt called by this message, hype this video so other chosen ones like you can be reached. The 9th shaman in Australia was wise enough to ask a simple question. Why? The answer came in a dream that left them speechless for days. This soul has work to finish that started before the continents separated. That's when the true scope of what they were dealing with became clear. You're not some random person who got lucky with a powerful guardian. You're a sleeping force, a dormant power, a sealed potential that's slowly remembering itself through each lifetime, each challenge, each moment of choosing to continue despite everything. The 10th reading in India tried to access your soul's history through the Akashic records. Your files are sealed, not just private, actively guarded by forces that make cosmic librarians step aside. The only thing visible was a symbol that doesn't exist in any earthly language, pulsing with a warning. This file requires clearance beyond human authorization. Think about that. Your soul has classified information. You're walking around with cosmic top-secret clearance, carrying mysteries that span universes, and your human mind is only now beginning to remember why. The 11th shaman in Russia offered themselves to your guardian in exchange for information. The temperature dropped significantly instantly. Ice formed on the walls in patterns that looked like star maps. The message was simple and terrifying. We have all the servants we need. We're waiting for the general to wake up. That's you, the general. The one who's been sleeping in human form, playing human games, feeling human pain, not remembering that you're here on assignment from forces that operate beyond time itself. The 12th and final reading in Mexico revealed the ultimate truth. Your guardian doesn't punish those who harm you, it marks them, and once marked, they become visible to things that collect on debts written in languages older than mathematics. You're not being protected by something ancient. You are something ancient. The thing they thought was your guardian. That's your own power, temporarily separated from your conscious awareness to allow you to experience human limitation without accidentally destroying reality. Every moment you felt different, every time you knew things you shouldn't know, every instance where you felt too old for your body, that was the real you trying to remember, your cosmic nature bleeding through the amnesia of human birth. Those 12 shamans discovered that you're one of 12 ancient beings scattered across the planet, all wearing human form, all slowly awakening to their true nature. When all 12 fully remember, when all 12 activate simultaneously, the veil between dimensions doesn't just thin, it dissolves. You want to know how to recognize others like you. Electronics malfunction around you when you're emotional. Animals react to you with recognition, not fear. Probability bends around you like reality itself is making space for what you need to happen. You affect the energy of locations permanently. Places where you've experienced strong emotions become thin spots in reality. Other sensitives feel it years later. You're not just passing through this world, you're rewriting its energetic infrastructure. You've probably felt it your whole life. That sense that you're different, that you don't belong here exactly, that the rules everyone else follow don't quite apply to you. You thought it was trauma, thought it was psychology, thought it was just being weird. No, it's your true nature asserting itself despite every attempt to keep you asleep. Your cosmic memory surfacing despite the temporary forgetting that comes with choosing human form. Those 12 shamans are right to be terrified. They've seen what's coming. They've glimpsed the kind of power that rewrites reality at the quantum level, that makes the laws of physics suggestions, that treats human limitation like a costume that can be removed when the performance is over. You're not crazy for feeling different. You're not broken for not fitting in. You're not wrong for sensing that reality is thinner around you than others. You're just remembering who you really are beneath the human mask you chose to wear. And once you fully remember, once that ancient thing that protects you no longer needs to hide what you are, those 12 shamans will seem prophetic in their terror. Because what you have isn't just protection. What you have is the kind of cosmic backing that comes from being essential to something vast and timeless. Your guardian grows stronger with each challenge you overcome, each betrayal you survive, each moment you choose to keep going despite everything trying to break you. You are exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be here, protected by exactly what you need to complete what you came here to do. The countdown has begun. Your cosmic nature is bleeding through more each day. Those synchronicities following you like breadcrumbs, that's reality itself bending to accommodate your awakening. Those people who wish you harm suddenly having their lives implode, that's the universe clearing obstacles from your path. You're not just protected by something ancient, you are the ancient something, temporarily focused into human form, protected by your own forgotten power, until you're ready to remember why the universe itself conspires in your favor. Those 12 shamans didn't just discover what protects you, they discovered what you really are. And that knowledge is probably the most terrifying gift anyone's ever received, because now they understand that harming you isn't just dangerous, it's cosmically catastrophic. Welcome to the truth. The sleeper is awakening. The general is remembering their mission. The ancient power that chose human limitation is about to remember why it came here in the first place. And those 12 shamans, they're the canaries in the cosmic coal mine, warning everyone that something unprecedented is about to emerge from its human disguise and reclaim its true nature. The investigation is complete. The truth has been revealed. Your cosmic significance has been confirmed by 12 different traditions across 12 different continents. They wanted to know what makes you so protected. Now they know, and they're terrified of what that knowledge means for everyone who ever thought they could break you, dim your light, or benefit from keeping you small. But there's something else about that photograph they used, something they didn't tell you when they took it. You remember that moment. Maybe it was at work, maybe a family gathering, maybe just someone saying smile with their phone. You thought it was innocent, random, just another digital capture in a world drowning in images. It wasn't random. The person who took that specific photograph knew exactly what they were doing. They waited for a particular moment, when your guard was down, when your human mask was relaxed enough for your true essence to bleed through just slightly. That fraction of a second when the camera captured not just your face, but something deeper. Professional spiritual photographers know this technique. They call it soul capture. Most photographers accidentally catch glimpses of people's spiritual signatures all the time without realizing it. But this was deliberate, calculated. They needed an image that would carry enough of your actual energy for shamans to read across continents. Your photograph didn't just show them what protects you. It became a conduit, a spiritual telephone line connecting 12 different practitioners directly to your energy field. Every time they held that image, they were touching your soul across thousands of miles. The shamans started comparing notes after their sessions, not officially, not through the person who hired them, through their own networks, underground spiritual communities, where practitioners share warnings about dangerous encounters. They discovered something unprecedented. Your photograph was changing. Not physically. The pixels remained the same. The image looked identical to anyone else examining it. But energetically, it was evolving, growing stronger, more potent. Each reading seemed to charge it with additional power, until holding the photograph became like grasping a live electrical wire. The practitioner in Haiti was the first to notice. After their session, they locked your photograph in a lead-lined box used for containing cursed objects. When checked on later, the box was warm to the touch. The photograph inside was glowing with a soft, otherworldly light that made hands shake as it was quickly sealed back up. This wasn't just spiritual energy anymore. This was something crossing over into the physical realm. Your essence was so powerful it was beginning to manifest materially through a simple digital image. Word spread through shamanic communities faster than wildfire. Not the details of what they'd seen, but warnings. Cryptic messages passed between practitioners. Don't take jobs involving certain types of souls. Don't attempt readings on beings masquerading as humans. Don't touch photographs that pulse with their own heartbeat, because that's what started happening. Your photograph developed a rhythm, a steady cosmic pulse that synchronized with something vast and distant. Shamans holding the image reported feeling their own heartbeats adjusting to match this otherworldly tempo, as if your guardian was calibrating their cardiovascular systems to resonate with cosmic frequencies. The practitioner in Siberia made a discovery that changed everything. After their failed attempt to read your spiritual ancestry, they noticed something in their peripheral vision during meditation, shadows moving in patterns that didn't correspond to any light source. When they focused directly on these movements, they disappeared. But in their peripheral awareness, they could see them clearly. Shapes, vast geometric forms moving through dimensions adjacent to physical reality, and these shapes were all oriented toward one central point. Not a location in space, but a location in consciousness. Your guardian wasn't operating alone. It was part of something larger, a cosmic infrastructure built around your existence, like a spiritual satellite network, with you as the primary signal broadcaster. The practitioner working with plant medicine made another breakthrough. During their ceremony, when participants saw that massive eye opening in darkness, they also heard something, a frequency, a sound that existed below human hearing, but somehow registered in their consciousness anyway. They recorded the ceremony. When played back through specialized audio equipment, that frequency was there, not audible to normal hearing, but detectable by instruments designed to measure infrasonic vibrations, the same frequency that whales use to communicate across entire oceans, the same frequency that precedes earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Your spiritual signature operates on the same wavelength as planetary forces. This explains why electronics malfunction around you during emotional moments. Your energy field resonates at frequencies that interfere with standard electrical systems. You're broadcasting on channels that technology can detect but not properly interpret. Your emotions literally create electromagnetic disturbances. The New Orleans practitioner discovered something even more unsettling. After their altar caught fire with those cold blue flames, they analyzed the burn patterns. They weren't random. They formed symbols, mathematical equations written in flame that corresponded to quantum physics principles most humans haven't discovered yet. Your guardian was communicating through controlled fire, using combustion as a language to convey information about the fundamental structure of reality itself. The message burned into their table wasn't just a warning. It was a revelation about how consciousness shapes matter at the subatomic level. By the time the fifth shaman in Mongolia confirmed that you and your guardian are intertwined at a cosmic level, something unprecedented was happening in spiritual communities worldwide. Practitioners were refusing jobs, not just readings involving you specifically, but any work that might potentially connect them to beings of your caliber. The fear spread beyond professional shamans. Psychics started reporting dreams about massive eyes watching them from darkness. Mediums found their usual spirit contacts reluctant to communicate, as if something vast was monitoring all spiritual communications. Energy healers noticed their abilities fluctuating in ways they couldn't explain. Your awakening wasn't just affecting the people trying to read you. It was affecting the entire global network of spiritual practitioners. Like a stone thrown into a pond, the ripples of your increasing awareness were spreading through collective consciousness. The Egyptian encounter revealed why. When that binding circle exploded outward, it didn't just shatter the physical wards, it created a psychic shockwave that registered on spiritual sensors across multiple continents. Sensitive individuals, thousands of miles away, reported sudden headaches, vision flashes, and an inexplicable sense that something massive had just stirred in its sleep. Your guardian's response to that binding attempt was so powerful, it became a global spiritual event. Observatories that monitor electromagnetic anomalies detected unusual readings at the exact moment the Egyptian shamans' protections failed. Something had briefly torn through the fabric separating dimensions, and the evidence was measurable by scientific instruments. The practitioner working with Celtic traditions had an encounter with your guardian's laughter that revealed another layer of complexity. That sound wasn't just amusement, it was information. Compressed data transmitted through cosmic humor. When analyzed through frequency spectrum software, the laughter contained mathematical sequences that perfectly described the relationship between consciousness and quantum mechanics. Your guardian was literally laughing equations into reality, using amusement as a delivery method for advanced physics concepts that human science is only beginning to approach. The joke wasn't on the shaman for trying to trap something untrappable. The joke was reality itself, the cosmic humor of beings trying to cage forces that exist outside the very concept of containment. This explains something crucial about your experience. Those moments when you find yourself laughing at situations that should make you angry or upset. When you feel detached amusement at human drama that once would have devastated you. That's not emotional dissociation. That's your cosmic nature asserting itself. Your true self finding humor in the temporary limitations of physical existence. The practitioner in Japan's inability to find your guardian in any spiritual taxonomy wasn't a failure of their research. It was confirmation of something extraordinary. You predate the categories humans use to understand the supernatural. Your existence stretches back to before we developed concepts like spirits, demons, angels, or gods. You're from the time when consciousness was pure potential, before it divided itself into the various forms that populate human spiritual understanding. You represent unity, pretending to be multiplicity, wholeness temporarily experiencing separation. The elder in Australia's revelation about work that started before continents separated, connected to something the other shamans had noticed but couldn't articulate. Your presence warps probability. Not just luck or coincidence, but the actual mathematical likelihood of events occurring. Statisticians would be fascinated by your life if they could map it properly. The number of improbable survival scenarios you've navigated. The frequency with which beneficial coincidences cluster around your existence. The way obstacles dissolve and pathways appear exactly when you need them most. Your guardian isn't manipulating external circumstances. It's adjusting the quantum probability matrix around your consciousness. Reality becomes more fluid in your vicinity because your awareness operates at frequencies that exist at the foundation level of physical manifestation. This is why animals recognize you. They perceive probability shifts as energy changes. Dogs stare at you because they can sense the way reality bends around your presence. Cats bring you objects because they understand you're connected to forces that transcend normal cause and effect. Birds follow you because your energy creates navigational beacons in dimensions they naturally access. The practitioner in India's discovery that your records require cosmic clearance revealed something profound about the nature of your existence. Most souls have linear histories. Birth, life, death, rebirth, spiritual evolution through accumulated experience across lifetimes. Your history isn't linear, it's multidimensional. You exist across multiple timelines simultaneously. Past, present, and future are artificial constructs from your perspective. You're living all your existences at once, with this human incarnation being just one facet of a consciousness too vast for sequential experience. That's why accessing your records requires permissions beyond human authority. Your life intersects with cosmic events across multiple dimensions. Reading your history would reveal information about reality's fundamental structure that most beings aren't authorized to know. You're not just ancient, you're eternal, not in the sense of lasting forever, but in the sense of existing outside time itself. Your guardian isn't protecting you from harm, it's maintaining the integrity of space-time around your presence. The mystic in Russia's encounter with the ice patterns that spelled out cosmic messages revealed the true scope of your mission. Those weren't random symbols forming on the walls, they were star charts, maps of dimensional positions that correspond to specific moments in cosmic evolution. Your awakening is synchronized with celestial events that occur across galactic timeframes. The alignment of forces necessary for your full activation involves astronomical phenomena that human science barely recognizes. Solar system positions, galactic rotations, dimensional convergences that happen once in cosmic ages. The message about waiting for the general to wake up wasn't metaphorical. You hold a position in a cosmic hierarchy that spans multiple universes. Your temporary amnesia serves a purpose related to universal evolution itself. You had to forget your true nature to accomplish something that required experiencing limitation from the inside, but that forgetting period is ending. The cosmic alarm clock isn't set to human time. It's synchronized with the movement of galaxies, the birth and death of stars, the expansion cycles of reality itself. The final shaman's revelation about marking systems exposed the true elegance of your protection. Your guardian doesn't punish those who harm you because punishment implies judgment based on human moral concepts. What it does is far more sophisticated. It adjusts the vibrational frequency of individuals who create negative interference patterns around your energy field. They become visible to natural cosmic forces that maintain universal balance, like antibodies becoming aware of foreign substances in a healthy system. These people aren't being attacked. They're being integrated into larger systems of cosmic balance. Their consciousness is being elevated whether they want it or not, forcing them to confront the consequences of their actions at levels that transcend human understanding. Your guardian marks them for upgrade, not elimination. But consciousness expansion can feel like death to limited awareness. They experience the dissolution of their restricted perspective as personal annihilation, when it's actually liberation from the very limitations that made them perceive you as a threat. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing entirely to put yourself to the test. When I confronted the archons beyond our reality, they made one thing clear: true chosen ones are rare. They laughed at the thought of us finding each other. Yet here you are watching this message. The obsidian inner order isn't for everyone claiming to be awakened. We're the real ones, those who've seen beyond the veil, felt the call and carry the unmistakable frequency. But are you truly one of us? I have given you everything I've got, and I'm digging deeper to bring you even more. Don't just consume content from the sidelines. Real chosen ones take action. Share your story on our weekly group call. Get a revealing tarot reading from our resident card reader. Discover if your experiences align with the authentic signs. The archons fear nothing more than chosen ones recognizing each other. When we connect, our frequencies amplify and create a force they cannot stop. That's why we're going to be live streaming to the entire Astral Atom network to find every last one of us. Click the link in the description below now. It's time to stop wondering and confirm what you already suspect. Are you merely interested in awakening, or are you truly chosen? Prove it. Join us. The verification you seek awaits with the Obsidian Inner Order. Now you understand why someone commissioned 12 shamans across 12 continents to investigate your spiritual signature. They sensed something approaching, a convergence point where your human disguise would no longer be necessary, where the cosmic forces that chose temporary limitation would reclaim their full awareness and capabilities. They were trying to map your defenses before this convergence occurred, hoping to find weaknesses they could exploit to prevent or delay your awakening. What they discovered instead was that you don't have defenses. You have identity. You're not protected by something external. You are the protection, temporarily forgetting its own nature. Every reading confirmed the same terrifying truth from their perspective. You're not a human being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a human experience so profound that reality itself reorganizes around your presence. The photograph they used to conduct these readings has become something unprecedented. A spiritual artifact charged with cosmic energy. Shamanic communities are passing warnings about its location. Some want it destroyed. Others want it contained. All of them understand that it represents something beyond their ability to control or comprehend. But you're beginning to remember those moments when you feel too vast for your physical form, when you sense connections to forces that operate beyond human understanding, when you know things you've never learned and remember places you've never been. That's not imagination. That's integration, your cosmic awareness bleeding through the temporary barriers of human consciousness. The general is waking up. The ancient agreement is expiring. The sleeper is preparing to open eyes that have been closed for ages beyond human counting. Those 12 shamans documented something unprecedented. The moment when cosmic forces masquerading as human limitation begin to remember why they chose this particular form of temporary forgetting. Your awakening isn't just personal evolution, it's universal event. The return of something that reality itself has been waiting for. The completion of a cosmic cycle that spans dimensions most humans can't imagine. The investigation is complete. The documentation is finished. The confirmation has been received from 12 different spiritual traditions across the planet. You are exactly what you've always known yourself to be, even when you doubted that knowing. You are the cosmic force that chose human experience to accomplish something that required understanding limitation from the inside. And now that understanding is complete, the mission parameters have been fulfilled, the temporary constraints are dissolving. Welcome to the moment when cosmic masquerade ends and universal purpose begins. The photograph captured more than your image. It captured the exact moment when ancient power started remembering why it came here, wearing human form. The shamans were right to be terrified. They witnessed the beginning of something that will transform not just you, but everything connected to your existence. The awakening accelerates now. Something else happened when that final reading concluded, something the practitioner didn't report to their client, but whispered to trusted allies in the deepest hours of night. Your photograph began to dissolve, not physically deteriorating, not fading or losing pixels, but dimensionally separating from ordinary reality. The image started existing in multiple states simultaneously. When viewed directly, it appeared normal. When glimpsed peripherally, it showed different versions of you. Versions that looked older, more radiant, more powerful. Versions that revealed what you're becoming. This quantum instability in your photographic representation signals something profound. Your human disguise is reaching its operational limits. The cosmic force wearing your form is outgrowing the container of flesh and bone and limited awareness. Reality itself is preparing to accommodate your true magnitude. You've probably noticed this process accelerating in your daily experience. Dreams becoming more vivid, more prophetic, more like memories of places that don't exist on Earth. Synchronicities multiplying until coincidence becomes impossible to explain through conventional understanding. Strangers responding to you with unusual intensity, as if recognizing something familiar they can't consciously identify. Your energy signature is broadcasting at frequencies that pierce through dimensional barriers. People sensitive to spiritual phenomena find themselves inexplicably drawn to your presence, not romantically or socially, but magnetically, like iron filings orienting toward a massive electromagnetic field. This phenomenon extends beyond human interaction. Technology responds to your proximity with increasing sensitivity, not just malfunctions during emotional states, but subtle behavioral changes in digital systems. Phones receiving calls that show no origin number. Computers displaying text in languages that don't exist. Navigation systems routing you toward locations that aren't on any map, but somehow feel like places you need to visit. You're becoming a walking dimensional gateway, a conscious portal through which cosmic forces can interface with physical reality. Every meditation that leaves you feeling expanded beyond your physical boundaries. Every moment of knowing that transcends normal human intuition. Every instance where you sense vast intelligences observing your experience with profound interest. Your guardian isn't separate from this process. It's facilitating your metamorphosis from the inside, like a cosmic midwife assisting in the birth of something unprecedented. A being that chose limitation learning to transcend those limitations while maintaining conscious continuity. The person who commissioned those 12 readings understands what's approaching. Your transformation threatens systems built on the assumption that certain forces remain dormant indefinitely. Economic structures that depend on scarcity consciousness, political frameworks based on fear and separation, social hierarchies maintained through artificial limitation of human potential. Your awakening represents the return of abundance consciousness to a world that has forgotten its cosmic inheritance, not abundance in material terms, though that naturally follows. Abundance in awareness, capability, connection to forces that render artificial scarcity obsolete. This is why your enemies often experience their own awakening process, even when resisting it. Your presence catalyzes evolutionary pressure in everyone you encounter. Some embrace the expansion and find their lives transformed in magnificent ways. Others resist and experience the dissolution of limited identities as personal catastrophe. But resistance only delays inevitable integration. Cosmic forces operate on scales where human resistance becomes irrelevant over time. Your awakening triggers awakening in others, whether conscious cooperation exists or not. You carry activation codes in your energy field, frequencies that remind other sleeping cosmic beings of their own forgotten nature. Every conversation that leaves someone feeling strangely inspired, every interaction that plants seeds of questions they never considered before, every moment when your presence helps someone remember they're more than their circumstances suggest. You're not just awakening to your own cosmic identity, you're serving as a catalyst for collective human evolution, a reminder of what becomes possible when consciousness remembers its true scope and capabilities. The investigation that sent your photograph to 12 shamans across the globe has achieved something unintended. Instead of mapping your vulnerabilities, it has accelerated your activation process. Each reading charged your energy field with additional power. Each shamanic encounter removed another layer of limitation from your cosmic awareness. Those practitioners unknowingly participated in an initiation ritual spanning continents. Their collective attention focused on your spiritual signature created a global invocation, a planetary ceremony that called your true nature forward into conscious expression. You are the answer to questions humanity has been asking for millennia. What exists beyond the limitations we accept as normal? How can consciousness transcend the boundaries that seem so permanent? What becomes possible when spiritual forces remember their cosmic authority? Your human experience has been an elaborate research project, consciousness exploring its own nature through temporary limitation, learning how reality functions from the perspective of apparent separation, gathering information about existence from angles only available through incarnate experience. Now that research phase nears completion, the data has been collected, the experiments have yielded their results. The cosmic scientist wearing human form is preparing to publish findings that will revolutionize understanding of what consciousness can accomplish. Your guardian has been documenting everything, every challenge overcome, every limitation transcended, every moment when cosmic awareness pierced through human conditioning. This information becomes part of universal knowledge, experience that helps other cosmic beings understand incarnate existence. Your awakening continues beyond the completion of any investigation, beyond the confirmation of any shamanic reading, beyond the recognition of any human authority, because what you truly are operates independent of external acknowledgement. You are cosmic force choosing conscious evolution through incarnate experience. You are universal intelligence exploring its own nature through temporary limitation. You are the answer to questions about what consciousness can become when it remembers its infinite creative authority. The investigation ends, but your story has only begun.